Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in the TARDIS with me, Takashi, and also Quill.
Pinky, she welcomes you back too. Oh my god, are those humans?
No, that would be like harassing, so we'll do that. And she's here. She's hiding somewhere. Somewhere very far away.
Are you serious? Lyra's here? I see Trixie. Ghost. Ghost head.
Let me see if she's actually here.
Okay, there's the notification that the stream is on. And
Real.
those, everyone can't see this, but I can see a tiny miniature window where he's looking for pictures of Lyra.
Am I
That might be grabbable without the background, I think. Because if he wasn't detached from the background, he'd be grabbing the background too.
There you go. I know this is here. There you go. He's
You
there.
can around the corner like, hey, what you guys doing? Oh my gosh, are those humans?
There you go. He is not fucking anything. Just literally barely. But there you go. We are gonna watch some pretty rainbow crystal comet. I assume from the title. We are going to an epic but very peaceful adventure.
Oh, I think the criteria there was epic but safe.
Safe.
And insofar as Lyra's appearance here, she's exactly the first words of this entire chapter.
They are going to a safe. Then in a safe location.
So it's actually like a lock safe, but an epic one. So it's like a giant tower of a piggy bank.
So they are going to heist a bank.
yeah, like the in the Persona 5, the piggy bank.
Indeed.
I think he called it Piggytron.
I mean, we could use that music as well, but we are not going there.
Anyway, go ahead.
I assume we need some calm music at the moment. There you go. A topical calm music. We will see where we go from there. There are things opening doors in the basement when she steps into the TARDIS. I know! The picture is happening. Amazing! Isn't it? I mean, I can see the doctor saying that this as well. Ha! I always enjoy this part. Doctor says with a smirk. I even sounded the smirk off. Estimated his way midway to the TARDIS control. But the god was that this was Lyra's first time coming into this vessel. That realization couldn't seem to pose and look back at her. I didn't look like that, right? The witches to everyone around him. No, you were a little bit more hyper. And you know, those was answered the wind. You managed to figure out it was bigger on the east side before you even set foot. Poof! That makes it cry to another roll of her eyes. I mean, I wouldn't mind you calling it food. And also, foodies have legs too. Dr. appears and laughed sharply, and very seriously for a brief moment. That is good, he said. That was his attention to Feather as he resumed. Hoof! Into my ship, with a very big emphasis on hoof. Sometimes I think you are too smart for your own good. Where is the fun? Yeah, he wants to be a good DM, but if they have a level 20 wizard. Funny enough, he actually is a wizard. You all look the same to me, William remarked with a flat tone. This command identically clear from Duffy. We have some avatar reference right now. I haven't noticed a game as he said in agreement. Sometimes I agree. That is, I sometimes think that I'm too smart for my own good. Too. Well, it didn't mean to realize some things that I almost wish I didn't. This can be depressing or scary sometimes, especially if I don't know how to deal with them. So we are going into the part when you say that sometimes not knowing is better. Which is sometimes true, but not rarely.
Remember that as a quote from Cypher in The Matrix. As he said, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah? But intelligence is a weapon. Not as for the as he said. Intelligence is certainly a mixed blessing, for sure. To be sure. It depends how you look at it that can be argued. It also depends on how you apply yourself. Knowledge does not have to feel like a burden if you can figure out how to best use it to your advantage. In the perspective and what emotions can I made in check too. I think we broke Lyra. Nothing remarked with a blink, as she eyes Lyra frozen in joking mode. Nah, she's not broken. She's just very relative in time right now.
I think you could easily imagine her expression at this moment.
Yeah, I feel like her jaw is probably on the floor at the moment.
Eyes wide.
Eyes wide. There you go. Like her at the moment. I mean, the color kind of matches. Yes, do you work? How do you work these controls? Captain asked curiously, as he approaches the TARDIS controls. In fact, because of Doctor's hesitation due to paying more attention to Nigel, Cam Turner is the first to arrive at the controls. The answer to that question would be less in a techno member, more suited to shows like Star Trek. Doctor as well as his roommate's Trek. You know what? We are way too happy.
Oh, they're not miserable either. I wonder what you're going for.
I'm curious if we have why is only 2 here? Bedroom, underground.
Wow, there's a lot of songs on that list.
Yeah, look at this. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be not there then. But I know what I'm searching for. It is not here. It is not here.
At least, if you know the name, maybe you could search specifically for that song.
I don't know the name, but I know when I will see it.
Here's the Old West. Why don't you just mosey on, you little pony?
Yeah, it is not here.
This is actually a little decent for inside the TARDIS, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I went for the short best option.
I can feel a slight clockwork theme to this kind of music.
Yeah. So I guess based on what you said, that Star Trek is some kind of show where you come from, where they are taking to the stars. That's what I surmised. Very interesting, and based on the name, it sounds very much like something I might want to see. Furthermore, I happen to speak the mother myself, so try me. You handsome looking stallion. Quite a narcissist, are we? What if he can manage it? But I can ask curiously. You probably don't want him poofing on it on his first try. I don't see how merely expanding the process can do him any serious harm. The two of you do seem remarkably similar, so I wonder what else you two have in common. I mean, he actually made a time machine as well, if you remember the show.
Yeah, I do.
We must explore the asset for the sake of science. And some more understanding in the class. The doctor adjusts his necktie as he said, "Very well. I shall make an attempt, but I think it would be more efficient if I simply transmit the information to you. If I explain it to you verbally then, not only could something get lost in the translation, but it could take a very long time. And we are not ants. We don't wanna speak in the great ant language." If you know the reference from the Two Tones. You can do that? That's an SK Cyber Counterpart. It's fascination. What is each telepathy? That is each telepathy? If we move forward, then yes. Dr. Ashton. I find it is the fastest, safest, and most true way to explain something. Also, it can be gained for passing or secrets.
Maybe the first time I seen the Doctor use that technique in the show, in the old Doctor Who show, is when he met his past self for the first time. And they didn't have to bump foreheads in that case. Instead, they both closed their eyes, stand side by side, and one of them said contact, then the other one said contact. And I think they meant telepathic contact.
Contact! They had contact for the whole talk.
After that, they tried to convey telepathic translation by switching back and forth between their faces really rapidly. But this reference, the forehead bumping, is from the newer Doctor Who show, the one you have seen, where I actually seen him do that to a human to give all kinds of information immediately.
We are gonna have a little to share information.
In his own way, yes.
Also, it can be gained for passing or secrets. The bump away Margaret sir. That's actually occurs. And if somebody was listening into this talk in the meantime, they would have very much misunderstood what they are on a bump. This has teach me that way too, and as hopefully. After all, I can let go. We should be safer if we had at least one other backup co-pilot on this ship. Let's see how this goes first. Dr. replied before grabbing his pony counterpart in both hooves, and they both bumped heads with each other. Close the door, please, would you, fellow? The scanning request of the Sky Blue Stallion. Why? There's no information being sent aloud. I mean, obviously we don't want any unwanted attention to the inside of the TARDIS. You are Unicorn 2 or something equivalent, you can do it as well. And I remind this magic friend that look back at the front door and close it with his magic. That said, I don't mind. You will also close at the door, Dr. Kelly says further observantly. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter if I use my magic. Where am I? How far I am?
Well, it might. Perhaps greater distance might cost more magic or concentration. But it's much more likely that they experience, and I've seen this too, heavier exertion, as in more effort, if the object is heavier.
I mean, in our home we have one rule. The last one who comes in closes the door.
Yeah.
Which
For
makes
instance,
more sense.
I actually seen Starlight Glimmer struggle to lift up the books that her friend Sunburst had brought over on the train.
I mean, she was not really book heavy. In her time in her little town. So you can get used to it, just like lifting heavy weight.
Geez, you know what just occurred to me? She is strong with her magic, but I can't think of the instance of the heaviest object, Starlight, specifically Starlight, ever lifted with her magic. Herself? Is there anything else that's heavier than that? Oh god, she'd be insulted for me to say that. But do you remember when Twilight lifted Ursa Minor or a huge orchard of apples floating simultaneously into a gigantic bucket. I'm not sure if Starlight ever topped that.
No,
Hmm.
I think Starlight is not as strong with magic. He is very precise with magic.
Hmm. Well, that's an interesting perspective, and maybe you're right.
Also, there's different in different kind of magic as well. Like, it's easier to shoot lasers than lifting Mook up for some opponents.
Well, I've seen her Starlight take out Bugbear or heck even Discord in one shot, where Twilight never did anything like that. But it might be because Twilight was not using that much power,
Also,
afraid to hurt the Bugbear or something like that.
have you ever considered that Starlight was not lifting herself up in the air, but he was pushing the glove under her feet down? The whole
No, I
time.
have, no, I have a better something. Maybe it's what you said, but she didn't lift herself up. She pushed the planet down.
Which is not true because we could actually see the magic around her, so
Yeah, she's just hovering in one spot. She's just forcing the entire planet to rotate in order to move across the horizon.
yeah. At this point, the man waves to carry off, since he does not want to argue about this any further. Since it is done now, he thinks it is time they move on. It is literally just it's gonna be past P for Halloween right from now on. With everybody aboard, we now have 2 unicorns, 1 Magi, 2 Megasai, 2 Earth Police, and the fairies must yet interrupted. And the party is in the party. That's the thing. I was going to say a Time Lord. The thing from the side. So you can sing. So we know to the rooftop. But when you with Wally?
Sort of sneaky smile, I guess. A little mischievous.
Yeah. Wally smile. You should join the hand as we sing sometimes then. Although, I have to say, I enjoyed the recorder playing too. I was surprised when he suddenly pulled it out. I mean, I'm pretty sure the doctor can even harmonize with himself. So was I, truth be told. Because honestly, I haven't played that thing in a very, very long time. He then got his podcast about as he has the Power Stadium. So, got the gist of it? I think so. I know that I should have pressed the big head button. That's what I replied with the alternative. I suggested the side of his noggin. To be sure, I can see why you have to dramatically explain. So much math involved. I think in math terms too. So I think I mentally partially qualified to understand this, but wow! This is way out there, and the doctor is messing it up, the calculation up as well. A lot of times in the show.
You can actually put a picture of this on the screen of the Doctor and his math vision. Oh, MLP Doctor. Add that stipulation to it, or else the search ring will get confused.
I mean, we don't have him, but we have another one. There you go.
Yeah, that was from the show.
So you are saying that Twilight will be capable of controlling the ship? Probably, yes. Each of is configured according to consciousness of its captain. The Doctor explained to the Nostalgian. The ship, and the mid in particular, has taken many forms across my regeneration cycles, but overall it basically holds the same function. What you see around you, here around, is all yours, except the one that the sun doesn't take.
Except that forbidden closet of mysteries.
Yeah. But in the middle of the way, I enter a thing. This part right here. That's Evangelion. That's Evangelion. Right now. Ah! That's what I expected in that. So you to think in terms of steampunk design. The solution at its controls charts and says not entirely, but basically, yes. Do you see any theme here? No, I'm thinking of space punk. This is getting a little worried, and when Leslie shakes Lyra in an attempt to shake her out of her stupor, it works. So looks down at him, and is concerned as he looks up at her. He will touch upon noticing that she wants him with an affectionate husband. Okay, so this thing is bigger on the inside, I see. I mean, way bigger. Like your pilot looks around. But I don't see any hands around. If you think this blows your mind, wait till you see where the Doctor is taking us next. We just send back to Lion. Hey! Hey! No spoilers! I can't imagine the Doctor doing that.
Well, she's just saying that Lyra's going to be amazed, but not explaining why she'll be amazed.
Also, I hate when people who have seen the show do this. Oh yeah, you will like this part. Yeah, maybe I will, but now that you hyped it up, I might not like it as much.
You can illustrate your point by bringing Rarity on the screen where she screams no spoilers.
Yep. There's no way not to do that. I'm bringing up my Rarity right here, and she's saying, "No spoilers."
Okay.
That's why it's a marshmallow pony. That's why you're doing correctly for that command. Why she said only seems to wonder if she already knows where they're going next. Secondly, he's actually interested in her opinion the most since he's trying to test theory. Or game theory. Oh no, the fan fiction theory this time around. And then I told me a damn turn up. I said to an Italian. The Italian step back and just observe what I do. See if you can spot the pattern in what I'm doing. In particular, I'm interested to see if you can predict one laboratory and duplicate the twist, pull, yank, push along the way. So, what we are doing right now is this. Do you see the pattern of what I'm doing? And funny enough, we are not that far from the control of the TARDIS.
Kind of, yeah. I think Pinky would love that toy.
I think she might actually have that toy.
And
If not her, she savaged not.
always stuff in her mane.
Also see if you actually calculate where we have gone based on what you see me do. I love that you can, but we will just see. I highly that you can because you will have very a lot of missing variables. Unlike me, who know the exact coordinates of where I'm going. We do! I'm telling confirms. Your hand, Doctor! The thing is involved through time and space? The actually very fascinating. What? Question mark. It can indeed. The wind currently actual Mr. But the Doctor is busy fiddling with the knowledge controls. Me, thought a vision do actually come from a question as well, but about a century in the past. Is that so? I remarked in surprise. How fascinating! So the three of you visiting Polymer in like a glimpse into the future. It's what you have seen so far. How is it? Very pleasant, actually. And I answered with a bright smile. For personal reasons, I am deeply happy. And as a matter of one fact, I have some ties to Polymer's early history too, or rather the family that founded it. Oh, you actually knew that person back then? That you asked a small Italian beside her. Was it the other family that he saved, or was it another family? From the
Read the next
goblin?
sentence.
Oh yes, but they used to be called the orchard. But the plant while the college goes to life. I mean, it doesn't really answer my question if he saved the orchard or another family. I don't remember, but I remember that he.
That is that family.
Yeah. Okay.
They moved. They moved because of the goblins attacking their farm and specifically salting the earth. It toxified the land, so they really had to go after that. If it was just the barns burning down, they could have rebuilt it. But without ability to grow food there, that really kicked them out.
Yeah, and there was some very much salt in the ground, right? A lot of salt.
They didn't meet that family yet, but they're going to where they're going. Feeling that those two families never got that petty.
Yeah. I suppose I can see that. Like I said to the alternative that asks for curiously. Any technological marvels we have since your time that have involved you? The train! For the answer immediately. And that's my fault. That sounds more thinking about interesting too. Like, looks confused as she asked. The what now? Are you meaning that Ryder was in the party as well?
Yeah, it was at the party. That's exactly what they saw and heard it.
The photograph. Elaborate. When does you make either of them? That sounds about right. I'm sorry. You only explained to me more than before. As for my perspective, that was almost more to go. Anybody here not from my past here? I checked carefully and the TARDIS noises continue. But they actually sound like they are really back down. I mean, television, doctor, the
No,
tone.
Vision's a native Equestria, but okay, wait a minute. Did she say Equestria? Yes, she did say Equestria. You're correct. She's a native of another country on the same world.
Yeah, it not Equus, the plane, but Equestria. He was outside of Equestria from what I remember.
Based on the way she phrased that question, you're perfectly right.
I just curious that and the TARDIS noises continue. But they actually sound like they are winding back down. Me, Dr. Kelly answered as she looks over her right shoulder at the mid-colored map. I'm not even from your world entirely, though. I do suspect my answers as well. Wow! I marveled. That's so cool! You think that is something? Doctor here isn't even from this entire dimension. Let me end the conversation. As a matter of fact, the one he came from had more of this human class of wonder for some reason. Tell me that he used to look like one of them himself, but he's not. He's another race entirely. I have a minute so the logo is just going around. I definitely need to hear more about that. I exist entirely. He also for holes and makes a mounting sound effect, much like Pinky of her nod. I mean, even if you didn't try that, I would have said it. That really makes us a shapeshifter in a way. Kind of not, yes. That is allowed. Ooh, they are written. Hopefully, he doesn't like the one that can't tell right back. But yeah, I was there. With Mumon.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me? As I know, Princess. We can get into those details later. Don't be afraid to further. I think we are here. No one has known better where and when. She looked back at the doctor. And you know one of her eyes is leading away. Doctor? He has an invitation for him. Just name where and when we are. And the sound comes from a different direction and it's insanely robotic. Doctor! The Tony Solve in objection, I said. Before I answer that question, I first would like to reflect on the question on my head and some of my here. No for the doctor listen then point at time further. Do you know where and when we are, my good sir? Please be honest. I won't judge. And then read the paper and pen.
Where he lifts the judge's gavel.
Oh.
I'll smack you with this if I don't like your answer. There you go.
There you go. That's a check, I said. Well, to be honest, I haven't the fanciest clue, even after everything you showed me tapiously. Even the standard answer. But at least I know why. In order to understand where and when we are, I would have to be intimately familiar with coordinates of all of time and space. What I said, that you are missing a lot of variables. Each space and time has specific coordinates, and you also adjust for other variables. What? Wait. How should I say this one again? It sounded off when I said it.
Variables.
Variables, okay. But it is in base. It is proceeding to do what you did. A pattern did come to my mind. I could imagine a mathematical formula all over everything I was trying at. And allow me to calculate what you would touch next, and how would you interact with it. I have a complete understanding why you did what you did, but I was able to follow what you did as if through a muscle memory. If through muscle memory, if that makes any sense. That answered my question very well. Thank you, my good sir. And I passed it gratefully to recover the other one. Tell you the truth, if you knew the answer, I would call you a cheater. My pleasure. And I passed him with a side mode to the doctor.
I had him do his best to try to explain why he understood what little he did.
Yeah.
Because he kind of does think in the same terms. He's just not seeing a big enough picture yet.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that he's missing the variable.
Right. You're right. The stories and Time Turner is agreeing with you.
Okay, my turn. So again, as he starts to put his way to the exit. I have to warn you all about something, and this is very crucial. He proceeds in getting and solving, and that's her. Do you remember my promise that I would try to deliver you all words that are more safe to organic life? What about non-organic life, no? Yes! That being said, with a very cautious squint to her eyes, the doctor. Why do you ask? Well, this place is a rare exception that...
A
And
rare exception to that.
to that, yeah. And that in the extreme. It's a wanted guest and companions. In fact, this place could be possibly more hostile to organic life on the more circumstances. To begin with, gravity of this place. The place, I have warmed to notice, TARDIS too, has a density of a neutron star. For those of you who don't know, so all of you, that is one of the densest materials in the universe. Other than Goku.
I wouldn't call the music distracting right now, but it's not appropriate either.
I mean, they are just teaching what.
It is okay. Kind of reminds me of the Velvet Room a little bit. All we just need is oh.
That's enough for us. There you go. This is gonna be interesting to use this. What's of these are more called? Suddenly. Hmm. There you go. More neutral. And I think the only one that is not neutral. There you go. Then why are we going to that right now? And asking glorified shock. Also this scan can create a black hole. Can in the keyword. They also review further as usual. Those remarks further in the manly impressed tone. As to why we are not sure yet, I will explain in a moment. I mean, the TARDIS has its own dimension in itself.
Yep.
But
That's one of them.
Yeah. But I want to list all of the other reasons this space is utterly hostile to organic life. Gravity is one of them. Temperature is another. Radiation is another. Wind speed is another. Lack of oxygen is another. Lack of water is another. So pretty much everything. So pretty much everything. It requires to sustain life. This space has an open door. Has a nose alone. So
Basically, he agreed with you again.
Yeah. So other than gravity and like oxygen, it is literally the planet of the life. The very first planet that they went to. So when I asked you to take me to some place safe and epic, why is it the first thing that popped into your mind to us to a place that can either kill us as soon as we open this door? Are you trying to imply something sinister? I mean, because you are definitely safe while you are not opening the door. Because the person as he gets to the door, holds from one, as he spins about to face the crew, I guess, everything is explaining. As long as you stay within the protective field around the TARDIS, which I have expanded to 100 yards radius for the time being, you will witness one of the greatest natural spectacles of the known universe, in fact. Universe. In fact, using his whole right for hope, there is a nation behind him, and the door, which is a bit off to his right side. What I'm about to show is something the Time Lords declared to be illegal. So non-Time Lords. I mean, then the Time Lord who was stolen the TARDIS. And that is because in the critical thought here, the Time Lord used the mind to make vehicles like this. So you need broken up planet. You need the end of time and the resource.
Well, we don't know what's outside those doors yet, but he claims that it has extreme crushing gravity equal to a neutron star, incredibly high temperatures, or something wrong with the temperature anyway, lack of oxygen, lack of water, lack of air, and really, really strong winds. As hostile as a place could possibly get for life forms. Oh yeah, radiation too.
I mean, What I said about them traveling to the end of the planet or the universe is actually happening.
Yep. But according to the Doctor's claim, this place is awe-inspiring. Plus, it has a very rare material necessary to make ships like this.
So you might not need to steal another vehicle. Whoa! That is more than very nice. So one of the critical components to make ships like this located here? And only here, as far as my people knew. But otherwise, nothing else that they knew of, and this is quite nice and place, and I want you all to know. That's why I turned all the tools back to the floor. The only reason I am able to show all of you what you are about to see, is because I still might be one of the very few remaining time lords left. As a result, knowing that authority isn't hovering over my shoulder anymore, tell me what I can do. Instead of that, I have to be standing around. That's amazing! So we marveled, that's great to lie. But are you sure it will be safe for us out there? No. No. I would have delivered you here if I didn't have some way to secure our lives. Victor answered. Frankly, we would only be dead if it weren't for the TARDIS Intermission. I mean it. If we weren't planted right now, it feels like we would just traveled into the afterlife. If we would die so quickly, we wouldn't have time to feel any pain. Or realize what scared us. Even me. There are limits to how much damage a Time Lord could recover from. And in space, pushing those limits to the greatest possible extreme. I mean, yeah, that is how you can kill a demon who can regenerate as well. I'm gonna look further down. Is there even a stopping point at all? No, but we are getting closer to that. There's still not. Let's just turn his head to the right, looking at the exit as he said. That's awesome! This place is more much beyond, as long as we have some way to survive it. He looked back at his gas and crew. And they go outside and they see two humanoid creatures on the planet. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh man, that would be a big surprise after all that spiel he gave to them.
I mean, telling you very much great gravity and they are not human.
The example you give, he would be instantly dead too. A neutron star is significantly heavier than 500 times Earth gravity.
I mean, this is earlier things, but later on.
And there's the other environmental factors too.
Yeah. I mean, we have seen them not needing oxygen. Not that.
Doctor's describing there, it'd be easier to survive in the sun.
I mean, probably no, they might have survived the as well. It is extremely beautiful out there, but no, just take my word for it. My word for it. He said, "Say, the thing suddenly defined sense." He said, "Otherwise, fine, probably." Ladies and gentlemen, I give you. He turns around and opens the doors. And not so, if he's saying, the rainbow crystal comet, and there's nothing there. And when I'm on the ship, feel like they are blasting my instant wave or magical energy. As soon as the door opens the doors. Beyond, they can see. For those who can, already a storm of energy on the horizon. It looks exactly like our Borealis, but far more intense. The entire sky seems to swim with this river of light, which shifts to the spectrum of colors, including ones they physically cannot see. And they see the metal that is in the middle of the thing. And they see a very strange thing in the middle of the Comet.
The O portal? I'm not
No.
sure if I've seen that before.
It's Pegasus from Beyblade.
Okay.
Literally in that show, the most this bay and another bay came from a metal. We came with a metal.
You were done with the paragraph.
Yeah. Along with it, there's a miracle like hum that his face naturally extrudes. While the sound seems soft in itself, it also poses to the soul, the deep transformative way. And then somehow they become human. One by one, they all suddenly emerge from the TARDIS in the object and the entire awe. It all feels like they are capable of any other emotion for the moment. Even the Doctor's eyes are full of wonder, because, for some reason, he doesn't entirely know what to expect from this place. There is something else about this command that he has yet to inform his guests and companions, but he plans to fill them in soon. Also, Doctor, remember, this is not your place, not your universe. This command might have different properties than your own.
Right, that's true. So, yeah, there's that.
And so the surrounding more, they realize that the command they are standing on is zooming to a lesser field. It is a detail that surprised even the Doctor. That lesser field is within a glowing, shifting color gas of its own. Occasionally, it was like a lightning storm. Doctor, look! Something cries out in alarm. She moans up and stands in terror as she sees an asteroid or collision course the command they are standing on. Ah! Excellent! It was cheers when he noticed about something in pointing too. I mean, this could be different, multiple different ways. It would be excellent or excellent. Watch this, everyone! You are not going to want to miss it. It's precocious! Someone cast an objection. Yes, that's what I mean. You can only, truly, experience that only once. My dear, we would only be dead if it was for TARDIS in the passage. Let's remind. If everything on this campus we can't kill us already, then that thing certainly won't. Besides, something will happen that will alleviate the danger anyway. Just look. Coming down, starting to look at the reassurance. Together, Carl sees about the approaching danger, except for vision, for obvious reasons. She sits down in a meditative pose, closes her eyes, and leaves her consciousness to merge with the space of where they are. The survivor takes note of that, then goes a second smile. For those who can see the spectacle unfold, what they see is an asteroid that is about to collide with the comet disintegrate. As soon as it starts across the aurora eyes of the comet, they are on. It is as if the comet has some kind of barrier that destroys other things upon contact. Maybe it's not the comet, maybe it's the TARDIS. And this destroys it, no? Just as erupts in the crackle of lightning, the crackle of light, that are like the storm of fireworks. Each tiny pulp is a different color. The boys who watch guess in awe, and they see a huge shower of sparks that eventually fizzles out. It reminds me of the history of the universe. The history of the world. Even crazier space dust. I told you all before that this comet has a relatively neutral star. Not to remind the points around them. Despite that, the Russian gravity around this comet is still contained within it for the most part. It does not affect other celestial bodies around it, and fairly profoundly too. But not nearly to the degree that it should. Yeah, screw you here, Saturnium. Everything in the universe is circling around this comet. We are sending on the gravitational force field, and it needs strong enough to create a black hole. Yet, this comet doesn't do that. Well, not entirely anyway. What do you mean by that, Doctor? Levin asked the Doctor with a fall-like wonder in his eyes. The Doctor the most faced the police ahead of him as his face. I need to tell you something else unique about this comet here. For you see, this is the original TARDIS. This is the natural TARDIS. Every once in a while, it suddenly shifts into quantum magnetic field, which provides it to some random point in time and space. The gravity is excluded in just that song. So you mean to say is that you showing them this, even if they know where they are and when they are, they will be able to find it later on. Because it will just fly away into random space and time.
That subject's about to come up soon.
Whoa! Several important gaps simultaneously, which includes for the wind, solving, Duffy, Tassala, and Lyra. Physically, a vision gaps are cool, though. So what you are saying is that the Doctor gave Tassala the formula, but withheld the extra fact that this thing that they are going to, their goal, is actually moving in time and space as they are approaching it.
Hey, so they landed with a TARDIS to an astrological phenomenon that is itself is a natural TARDIS.
So we literally gave Hampton an equation that is impossible to solve.
It's kind of like trying to land a bullet on another bullet that's in mid-flight.
Yeah. That's a lot, as he said. Not only that, all the quantum field within and around this comet, it can live in flux. What it means that this is the nicest point between absolutely all quantum realities. Then how were you able to land on it? It's a great question, right? That's all. Getting cold in here. So, I'm just gonna grab some warmer clothes.
Ah, I see you leveled up your warm gear.
Not enough. Never know there's a hell. Seriously, as she has. What exactly does that mean, Doctor? To explain, let me give you an example. Doctor proposed. Hey, there were 5,000 citizens back in Gallifrey, my home world, and the captain one of those vessels all decided to visit this command. They also all decided in advance what they want to warp to the exact same time. Wait, that they also all decide in advance that they want to warp to the exact same time and place, except a few feet apart. So there is enough room for them. All materials here. You are facing an impossible scenario. I mean, not impossible, but right close to. So they have to have an equation where they are not aiming at the comet, they are aiming ahead of the comet where it's gonna be when they reach it. In more space and time.
It's actually more complex than that. Read on.
Okay, the PS has moved on. It's moving along so far. Except they can't. It goes on. When the field around this comet is a flux to such a powerful game, and all five of the stars would land in a different quantum reality. They would all be here at the same time and place, but if they exit their ships and also do so with the proper precautions, they would soon discover that they seem to be all alone. But because each landed in a different reality entirely, one with its own unique history. Any potential historical event that happened in one reality will not necessarily happen in another. Altogether, there's an infinite combination of potential paths that the future can be in flux, and this command is the next point between them all. So, this is the butterfly. On the root of the tree. Wow! Said the windy face. I mean to see what you mean. Me too, the sky captain. Me too, that's the also is. I don't, we just said. The one that is confused, although with an attention is transfer. The third looked off as she was. Not only do we need to be careful with what we bring, but we must be sure we take everything we plan to keep without making it back out. For example, I say lob 1 Bitcoin for my question here. I just lob it on the spot. When to do so. If I then leave it on this, walk it away, then later decide to come back and claim the coin, then I'm out of luck. Anything left behind on this comet will never be seen again. It might be seen again by somebody else.
Yeah.
Because even if I attempted to return to the exact same time and place that I originally launched away from, I would be forced into a different quantum reality where I never stood here in the first place, and I never dumped the coin down.
Yeah, you're more accurate. Assuming someone could survive by approaching the comet, but they were native to that reality that he temporarily shifted to, they could find the coin there. But that's like landing a 1 in infinite possibility. An infinite haystack. And that's why he thinks it's impossible, because with odds that astronomically high, you'd almost never land on that 1 out of infinity.
I mean, it is not impossible, you can always roll a
Yeah.
20, but...
It is starting to sound like you're starting to understand too. Same time, same place, but different quantum reality. And they can't control it. This place is just too powerful to get that accurate.
That's why I said that landing on the same place is not really impossible, but the odds are very, 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 very low.
Yeah. And perhaps if you return to that same place and time, the coin's not there, but you find a teddy bear in there instead.
Yeah?
Because someone else in a different reality dropped it there.
Besides, the coin would be cast into oblivion as soon as the TARDIS and its magnetic field walks away, so it isn't allowed. That's actually one of the multiple reasons the coin would be gone, which is correct. But yeah, this piece is true. I mean, what if you drop it with it having a magnetic field as well?
Yeah, then as long as the field holds, it'd have to be pretty strong, but theoretically the coin would still be there in that case.
So even if it were in a time loop, repeating the same day over and over again, like a Groundhog Day or something like that, for Dr. Kelly, the unique characteristic quantum field of this comet would ensure you would live in a different reality each time repeating the exact same day. Yes. Also, this would be key to get out of the loop. Yes! That's what I is with the absolutely not criticality. You read it. He looks around. That's why I was uncertain what we would find in this place. In fact, every single time, at least to a certain degree, I never would have imagined that I would see this as a pony. Here's our spot at the SS field around them. Maybe the only difference in the whole universe is one of those asteroids rotates a slightly different direction. But everything else is exactly the same. The shift in quantum reality can be very slight or extremely different. There is no way to tell until we arrive here, and even then, it is guaranteed to be unique experience every single time. Russell looks across the pond ahead of him as he announces, "This command is known in the mysteries and submits to be important in other ways. Supposedly the planets, stars, gases, and other celestial bodies in compass with one altered in some way that energy goes imperfect in history, which is some way, shape and form, to the birth of a world, which eventually spawns life. He has to kiss the ground beneath him, and when he does, he presses random curls, which spend like a ripple each time. And the prophecies have been known to revolve around this one command before. Some even believe that if they see it and wish upon it as it comes near their home world, the speech will be granted. No, 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 no. You have to climb the 7th day of March first. You will take this intense energy as well as the nature of this command. I can even reject the possibility either. If it does happen though, then what I think occurred in the person who read upon this command was messages from the reality they were in, and they appeared in the different reality. And the condition of their wish is present, and no way what. Doctor, question! What happened to the one to his own self in the other reality?
It might be a missing persons case, or some other reality of you replaces you.
I see. And I remarked enough. How deeply fascinating, it sounds. So, what you have never to ask who in a place or a big legend? Correct, that is what you asked for, right?
Right?
It's a completely nod. Even my people try to keep this a place secret. He turns around and wanders a bit away a bit. He is out at their surroundings, with awe and wonder of his own. This place was something of a mystery even to my people, but they knew they could mine a lot of components here from the command. Let's see is a crystal shard, which can be used to understand the consistence of each of the TARDIS. Essentially, the heart of the TARDIS. Even those facts to my people, this place has another name. He spent about to phrase them as he does them. The Mother Crystal.
See, hear, feel, think.
The Mother Crystal?
That's Genova, but alright.
But you know there is a Maya motor here. That's what the promoted a million in particular. So the fact that she is celebrating there. Your people were able to mine crystals with the same density as a neutron star respectively. They were determined to explain, and the urge is successful. Innovation average pays off. I mean, we have this, pulled out the third screwdriver. And the shifts his hand slightly back at his head. Based on what I had over his life, new span and technology often have some growing pains. Yeah, he said again as he looked around the gun. This is true. Wait a minute! There was an illumination and confusion. If your people kept coming back to mine the same command, wouldn't they eventually run out of the material? Yeah, we have that problem in real life as well. But no, they wouldn't turn out to the same. But here, because they are not in the same dimension. Every time they come here.
You figured it out. You've been paying attention.
Well, the question is, can they return to their own reality after they mind? The one that they need.
Well, since their society was built up relatively well, you would think the answer would be yes. But if anyone permanently disappears, like in the example the doctor gave, like they were wishing upon the comet, and they got their wish fulfilled, but only because they were transported to another reality where the conditions of their wish was met, and in that reality, it was always the case.
Yeah.
Those people do disappear from their native reality unless a different quantum version of them replaces them.
I mean, this is what I said in the mm, second episode of Twilight as well. That no, you didn't change anything in time and space. You just went to a different alternate timeline to begin with.
Alright, there you go.
This is why that after that there was a whole reset of all the lessons. Because he hasn't learned them yet. Or shouldn't have. Because we can't come first or we command. That's when no. This guy answered. Every single time the time was left and came back, he always shifted to different continuity. Where they had never been before. Never took a sample of the crystal, according to the version of reality. This effectively makes this command an infinite source. I mean, no. It looks infinite, but it is not.
Well, yeah, if you kept on mining from the same reality without leaving and coming back, yes, eventually you could run out.
I wonder if you fully mine the crystal, will it be gone in the other timeline as well?
Apparently not. It would only disappear in that reality.
Convenient. I mean,
I'll read the next sentence.
Yeah, no, I was reading the
Okay.
This time I was reading it.
Okay.
Something related with the shark. But the man is right, and the doctor actually asked him an alarm. But wait a second. If we hit into a different reality, the man we came here, does it mean we can't ever go back? No! Doctor says calmly, as he looks at and shakes his head at something. But the quantum nature of the command is in flux, most other things are not. It was carried within the micro DNA signature of the reality we came from. When we leave this place, we send the reality that's a match for a quantum signature. In other words, something Dr. Kennedy, while we are off to a random reality where we travel towards the command, the same isn't true in remote. According to the natural laws of the universe, we will also return to reality when we are in an energetic match
Energy.
4.
Yeah.
It's correct, it's simply a very rare exception. A very, very rare one. Almost at the end, but I'm gonna go grab some tea.
Okay.
The door sits down and spreads its four hooves apart. I said. You can't see why I wasn't too concerned about other life forms being here. I'm anything else. I mean, it would be concerning if there was another life form here. Who can survive this place?
It had occurred to me that maybe Discord or Trouble could.
I would say no. They wouldn't be able to have it either.
They're not exactly physical. Or sort of simulating it?
Yeah, but they cannot, they can manipulate it, but they cannot change something either. There are things that they cannot mess with.
There is a chance that this place is so powerful it might overwhelm even them.
I mean, we know that there is a Francis that can turn them into stone.
That's true.
Into the protective field of the TARDIS to keep us safe here. It's using the same kind of anti-matter crystal that came from here in the first place. It's extremely hard for other life forms to be here. Not impossible.
Yeah.
If there are, they almost certainly are already, or even destroyed entirely. We keep shifting to random reality. Every time we come here anyway. It will also happen if 5 minutes hours, 4, 3, give us a right, 2, 1, fireworks! There's a plan of energy all around them. It is fireworks. It shifted on in the color of the spectrum when they are standing on, and the wave of energy above them. The whole place starts to quake for a moment. Doctor? Sophie has raised her arm. What's going on? Rainbow Crystal Comet is about to shift. The answer as he turns the boat, and looks with a childlike awe. He also is showing to them up and turn on the device that controls this event. Hold on to your butts. Thanks! Bonus. You haven't seen something super cool. Didn't match everyone. But the bonus stamp in all. The emotionality on command blur and shift. They feel a faint falling sensation for a moment. But then it emerges and reverberates. After that, they see a golden tunnel form around the command. The command falls through it, just like they would all see the tunnel's doors were opening during mid-transport. Except the tunnel is so large, it envelopes the entire command, and everything on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, going to ludicrous speed.
They've gone to plaid.
What's important, including the restaurant this time, try out in every ever-escalating volume. And if they are riding a roller coaster, I mean they are. A very deadly one. Once again, all look to Candy and we remain calm the entire time. Anytime I do the tunnel, there's an intense ripple of energy passing through them. It keeps feeling like they are about to fall in a certain direction, but it shifts too quickly before they can actually fall in a particular direction. It does give them intense vertigo, and in some cases, there are martial assistance, which is not much akin to motion sickness. The main fact is an outline on the wallet are blurring a bit. It is slightly out of sync with that apparent quantibility. This condition average impacted, especially after the doctor's later treatment. So Marty was misinterpreting the whole thing.
There you go.
Maybe he was not killing himself.
Yeah, that is kind of an example of quantum destabilization, as the story describes.
Yeah? Except for Vision. This speaking, he didn't to any adverse effects of this film. Are you sure about that? He is still inside the barrier after all.
It states it right there. It didn't even say the doctor says that it's the narration describing it.
The narration can be faulty as well. And because I'm telling patterns, you must imagine in a new time, place, and reality. But there is a giant planet nearby with a great deal of red light crashing across it. They were on planet as well. But I need areas of working activity. When the passengers seem low, they see little eyes about that planet, so there is no sun nearby. And from that, the natural aura of color on the command is also blur the planet even further. Well, that was fun. But we cheered as he pushes the screwdriver away and starts to face his fans. It is then noticing that all the vision is sitting up straight. The others have collapsed on the ground, are very dizzy and very ditzy, and the narrative outline is blurring a bit. Seeing that, the doctor clasps his paws together and sends them. So, who was he at campus? Many of the responsibility he gets is getting close. And this is why my people tend to travel in the safety of the TARDIS is. So I explained. Or do you want to see something I think and this is nothing I cannot fix. Here's them all back towards the TARDIS. I'm with you then. Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it.
And somehow I survived. I am literally starting to fall off the chair because of the tiredness, but I have finished the chapter.
If this is the last reading for this week, I was hoping you'd be able to finish it.
And it's funny that it wasn't really a explosion or a destroying of something, but it kind of disappeared from that universe. The Comet, the letter just like poof, it was never there.
I thought it was in this chapter, but maybe it's just later, where the Doctor explains how the Time Lords found the comet if it keeps shifting to different realities. So right now, that question is still a mystery.
I mean, in the beginning, it was like the caveman. Ooh, fire! It's my fire! They found it by accident, probably.
Yeah, it might have started that way. If you think about it, there is a logical explanation. If you're able to understand temporal coordinates in terms of time and space, you will always find the comet at a certain spot if you warp to a very specific time and place where you first spotted it. You'd have to keep time traveling back to that point because you have no idea where it shifted after that. But every time you approach the comet, if you could do so safely, you keep shifting to a different quantum reality after you arrive. But as soon as you leave, you go back to your reality.
Ah. So they are literally going into a temporary spaceport.
So, yeah, it's probably the Time Lords discovered this by accident, and they had to keep on warping to the exact same space and time to get to the comet again, unless they happen to find it somewhere else out there in the infinite time, infinite space, and infinite quantum realities.
So does it mean that the Daleks know about the space? Because they do have time travel.
Well, it's supposed to be one of the top secrets of the Time Lords, but I say there's a chance for two reasons. Either A, the Daleks could have discovered it themselves, or B, they found the information from another civilization who had discovered it.
And also, they would never know because, as they said, two people cannot go to the same place at the same time.
It wouldn't surprise me if the Daleks ever discovered the comet. They try some harebrained scheme to try to sabotage the comet in some way that tries to wipe out the existence of every life form in every reality except the Daleks.
Hmm.
You
But
know,
yeah,
that plan might backfire though, because a non-Dalek race invented them in the first place.
event is a very big word. It was more like a little accident.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, what'd you think of this chapter?
What should I think of this chapter? But, Doctor, it's funny. So, guys, yeah, I know that the plan was bringing you to somewhere safe, but epic, so I brought you to the most deadly place in the universe.
He pointed that out himself earlier. No, wait. It was no, it was Time Turner that said that. Like when I asked you to deliver me someplace safe and epic, why did you deliver me to the place that could just instantly kill me as soon as you open the door?
Because you are
Are you
safe with
are
me.
you trying are you trying to imply something here? Are you trying to kill me?
Know what I can at a time and space. So keep your hopes away from my Duffy. But yeah, this is a little bit of. I mean, would you want to be that? It would definitely look amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, the moment you arrive, you have no idea what you're going to see because you warped, you got into the comet when it shifted to some other random reality. So it's always going to be a different show every time you show up, even if you just leave and immediately come back.
I mean, you will
The,
get
doc- the
bored of
doctor
that
had
show.
no idea when it would shift either, or even if it would occur during their visit, but somehow Vision did predict it.
I mean, Doctor wouldn't have full idea of when it does what, but he could calculate it because it is not random. And I'm pretty sure
Well,
that the Samuels have been looking at his course
you
between
might
time
be
and
right,
space.
but I think the doctor's missing too much information to figure out which reality it's going to shift to next. His race has never been able to figure that out. If they could do that, if they could predict exactly when it'll shift or what it shifts to, they could have solved another problem as well and had two parties warp to the same point and actually arrive next beside each other. Instead of that, the aura field is so powerful there, they keep shifting to a different reality, even if two ships go to the same exact same place, exact same time.
Oh, they started telling. So I don't know how much you can hear of that. Now there's
This,
some, but
at least for this story, this chapter also added a bit of lore for the Time Lords too. We discovered a critical component to create these ships. It was mined here. Um,
there
so
was
unless
no
Time Lords,
information about what they used to mine it.
yeah. Now, one thing that's not established if the Time Lords in the Pony universe did this too. The Doctor just described what happened in the human universe.
I mean, they didn't have time authorities, so I assume they did.
Probably, yeah.
And even if, and as we said, even if some teacher followed them, they wouldn't be able to get this command any time later on.
So, since that's critical lore for the Time Lords, you might expect the subject to come up again, especially as they get closer and closer to the Time War,
Yeah.
which is definitely a main plot point for the story.
I mean, sadly, the easiest way to solve the time war is to destroy this source.
That'd be quite reckless. There's some
I
good
mean,
things the Time Lords did too, including the Doctor. That never would have occurred if the Time Lords never invented the time shifting technology, of which that comet was a critical part of.
I mean,
And this comet may have affected the history of many other worlds and histories too. So that would also be erased if the comet never existed.
it kind of is one of his middle names. Also, yeah, it wouldn't be the same the first time Doctor does something rather like that. But if there's no time changing technology, there's no time war. It will be a war, but not time war.
You're right. Take this out of the picture, and everything good and bad that it caused would be erased.
The only reason why he wouldn't do that is because then he wouldn't be able to go on adventures.
Right.
But yeah,
This is that's kind of like breaking with the ultimate fixed timeline, one that's actually pretty darn difficult to damage too.
and we are gonna continue with the next of Destiny Part 2. But it's gonna be next time when I'm
Let me tell
probably...
you up front, I could tell you something, but the reason why it's called that is there was another chapter in an earlier arc that was called Nexus of Destiny, so I just put part 2 to that.
I mean, what was in this one?
No, it was in a different arc. When they first arrived in Ponyville, somewhere towards the end of that, there was a chapter called Nexus of Destiny. Since there was already a chapter called that in this entire book, I called that one Nexus of Destiny too.
It's funny
When
how
Feather
you...
first, when Feather first met Daring Do on that cliff, that chapter was called the Nexus of Destiny. But it wasn't established who she was yet.
That makes sense. But yeah, tomorrow we are gonna do some Outside of Justice. And I'm not sure if we can do it on 24th, the day after tomorrow, but we will, I will try.
Okay, then keep tabs with me, okay? I'll
Yeah.
on Discord about that.
But yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you for the reading.